Hello, I have a Yamaha MZ360 engine powering a rigid generator. The MZ360 originally would work after lots of effort, and I got it to run with starting fluid. This was brand new out of the box. It was not getting up to speed but running slowly, enough to power equipment but not enough to power displays. I tried disassembling and soaking the carburetor, and that didn't work. I tried an entirely new carburetor and that didn't work either. Now I can't even get it to start with starting fluid.
Do you have fuel in the tank? If so, is the shut-off valve open and the fuel clean?
Yes, fuel is brand new and valve is open.
Do you plan on doing the work yourself?
It is still under warranty but the servicing station is over an hour and a half away. If I can fix it at home I will just do it myself.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
I think that's all I have for now.
Hello, it sounds like you may have a valve issue. If you try to adjust the valves yourself, you risk losing your warranty, so beware. If you decide to look at them, the spec is .004 on both valves.
Thanks. I'll give it a shot.
Okay, but remember what I said about your warranty.
Okay, I adjusted the valves and checked fit. It runs now on one pull, but exhaust started out sooty and now is white. There is an irregular popping sound coming from the exhaust. Did I not do a good enough job on the valve adjustment? Seems like it's not quite getting up to speed, but it's running.
White smoke is a sign that the engine is burning oil. Oil can easily leak down into the cylinder through a misadjusted valve, or a bad valve. I would double-check the valve lash, and make sure the valves are opening and closing completely. If nothing is evident, you may have valve damage.
It seems to be working okay now at what sounds about like 3,600 RPM. Maybe it burned off whatever deposits were in there. The plug was sooty black when I pulled it. New issue, engine is running at normal speed. When I put a load on the generator, the RPM increases, but at times the throttle controller on the carb will go wide open and the engine will stall. If I manually hold the throttle mid-range, the engine will keep running. Is this an issue of the mixture control on the carb being too rich? There are also a couple screws on the carburetor that I cannot identify. Can you help me figure out what's what? This is a Mikuni carb, numbers on the side are 7CT61Z364, but I can't figure out what specific carb that is and I can't figure out what screws do what. Any help you could give me would be great. Okay, I think I figured out what most things do. Still lost on the last screw. Image updated.
I am not familiar with that particular carb, but I can tell you that the one you are calling a pilot adjust is the main mixture. That is why it has stops on it, so it meets carb requirements. The one you are calling an idle adjust is the low speed stop. Do not adjust that screw. Major engine damage can occur.
Thanks, just going off the names from the Yamaha parts list. I will reinstall in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, reinstall the carb. The main mixture screw does not appear to affect idle RPM. Generator is putting out 123.3 volts at 58.7 Hz at idle. When I flip the idle down switch to the on position, The mechanical throttle controller connected to the idle down circuit normally stalls the motor completely after a few seconds. Sometimes it will figure out its mistake and go wide open again, but this results in a loud pop out the exhaust. Botany, I think it's working with idle down feature turned off. It runs my power tools. The idle down feature can't quite seem to figure out where idle should be. Any ideas on this? Also, should I see exactly 60 Hz or is a steady 58.7 Hz within spec? I can't get it up to 60 Hz, regardless of whether or not a load is applied.
58.7 is just within spec. With no load on the unit, it should be running at about 61 or 62 Hz. But power tools don't care about frequency, they only care about voltage.
Is the frequency related to the RPM on this unit? I'd imagine with modern generators there's some sort of frequency regulation, but I'm learning as I go here. Anything I can do to make the HC come up? Thanks for all the help. Lots of good knowledge into my brain.
Frequency is only controlled by engine speed, that is why frequency needs to be adjusted before voltage. Once you change the engine speed to adjust frequency, T also changes voltage.
Got it, so it sounds like I need to adjust main mixture to bring RPMs up.
No, you do not use mixture to adjust RPM. You set mixture to get maximum performance/efficiency, then use the governor to adjust speed.
How do I adjust the governor?
There were 3 different governors used on this engine. It depends on which one you have. But usually there are 2 adjustment screws, one for speed and one for sensitivity.
Where are those screws located? Looks like the carb throttle is connected to a solenoid-looking thing near the fuel stopcock. I haven't seen any other adjustment screws other than what's on the carburetor.
The screws would be right on the governor arm.
Okay, thanks, check it out.
Okay.
Hi Hank, I think I found a governor screw, but I can't seem to locate both of them. I've uploaded some more pictures. Looks like the spring that attaches the governor adjust on the lower right up to the actual governor arm has several different spots it can hook in. Does this affect anything? Thanks. Mike.
Yes, that adjustment screw is the speed set screw.
Is there also a way to adjust sensitivity like you say? Does that have to do with what hole the spring is hooked into?
Yes, it does. Sensitivity should be okay.
Thanks for the help. I think I can figure it out from here. I will come back if I get stumped again.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.